Yo, what's going on? Welcome to the first and last episode of Coffee and Brats podcast of the century. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first and last episode of Coffee and Brats podcast of the century edition. Now, some of you guys are asking, where have you been? Let's start there. Well, take a ride with me today, and we'll catch everybody up on what's been going on for the last year or so since I've actually done some sort of a podcast. Yeah, so we're doing this one. This one's called Podcast of the Century. The reason being is I am in my 1995 Buick Century, and ironically, this is the last day of ownership with this car after about 2 years. We are moving on to other things, so unfortunately this one has to go. But I've been wanting to do this Podcast of a Century type of podcast. Now, full disclosure, this is not something that I coined. Someone I know, John Ludwig, who also has a fantastic YouTube channel, Ludwig's Garage, give him a follow. He used to have a Toyota Century, right-hand drive, long wheelbase, and had a podcast that he used to do out of that called Podcast of the Century. And so I just thought that was such a witty name. And then ironically, I have now my second Buick Century, and I've always wanted to do that, but I always felt weird about potentially biting his style. But he's got a much larger platform than I do. This is more so just for fun for myself and anybody who really cares enough to take a look. But yeah, we're doing it. So Podcast of the Century, if this type of podcast or content is something that you guys like, we can most certainly try to add more of that to the repertoire. But for now, we're giving it a shot. So yeah, it's 2025. It's a cold morning here in Central Florida. It's just about the tail end of February here. I believe it's like February 21st, 2025. And yeah, we're just moving right along with the year, getting things going. The year has been started off pretty interesting, but always exciting with different facets of what's thrown at you. But yeah, one of the things that I wanted to do for myself personally was I wanted to pick up a vehicle like a tow rig. And I say tow rig, but like a full-size pickup truck or an SUV. And the reason I wanted to do that, as if I don't have enough vehicles, but the purpose of that is really to try to take my pink S10 out and about a bit more, to go see some other friends at shows, car shows, throughout the, at least the East Coast of the United States. Now, for those that are just finding this and don't know, I am a mini trucker, automotive enthusiast, if you will. I have a Chevy S10 that I like to drive around. I'm not really a big show guy, if we're being honest, but it is something that I do want to experience with the truck. And not that it can't drive, but I've got a little bit of money in the paint, and I really don't feel like collecting any more unnecessary paint chips by driving the interstates to states like Texas or Mississippi or Tennessee and so on and so forth. So I recently acquired that, and we have a new home set up for the Buick. So yeah, the Buick actually phases out tomorrow. It's bittersweet. It's most certainly bittersweet. And we have picked up a 2003 Chevy Silverado. And as I say goodbye to a 60,000 mile 1995 30-year-old Buick Century, I am now welcoming to the fleet a 2005 511,000 plus mile 20-year-old Chevy Silverado, and we will get that on the videos and show you just how well that presents for over 500,000 miles in 20 years of being around. That pickup truck truck is quite beautiful, and it's something that I, quite frankly, just couldn't pass up. So we'll be phasing into that, and then who knows, maybe we'll put something on the YouTube channel, and you know, as I polish it and detail it and do some just general service. And I'm sure a lot of people are intrigued to know how a 500,000 mile 20-year-old pickup truck drives. There's not a whole bunch of them out there with original drivetrains. So but yeah, so we're just cruising around today. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee and you know, just drive around a bit. It's really kind of just a farewell to this thing. A bit of background on this is I used to have one. It was my very first car. It was a 92 Buick Century, same color. This is a beige tan color exterior, beige tan color interior. Had the exact same car, except my first one was a 92 and this is a 95. And this has a V6 and the other one was a 4-cylinder. But you know, I always love these cars. They look like spaceships. And a couple years ago, I was just like, I really kind of got back into low riders, like the cars and not necessarily just the mini truck stuff. And you know, a lot of older rear-wheel drive cars are just like really financially unattainable, just because, you know, everything is getting older and people see more value and everybody wants a piece of everything, right? So but I was starting to see these things pop up on the Facebook marketplace, and I'm the type that's not afraid to be a little different and think outside the box. I try to do that with most of my things that I do. So I was like, oh cool, man, a little spaceship like this would be cool on some spoke wheels, or you know, maybe on some air suspension. And I stumbled across this particular car on Marketplace, and it was a wild price. And you know, it was I guess you could say I'm pretty frugal. I don't like spending money, and so I you know, put it on my Facebook story and was like, hey, if anybody wants to buy me this, feel free to buy me this. And so long story short, my wife called me that day, later on that day, as I was out and about, and just like, hey, I need you to come home, something came up, we got to go run somewhere. And I was like, okay, cool. And you know, I kind of played along with it. I'm not dumb, and I can also read between the lines. My wife has been telling me to buy the car for you know, a while at this point, so I kind of knew what was going on. And as soon as we got in the vehicle to go drive towards this area to which I knew the vehicle was located, I already knew what time it was. And of course, normal me, I'm like, hey, we're not buying anything, I'm not spending any money today. And it was actually raining that day, and the gentleman pulled it out of the parking garage where he had it in the apartment complex. And as soon as I saw the car come around the corner, I looked at my wife and I said, well, we're definitely buying a vehicle today. You know, typically rule of thumb is you don't buy a car sight unseen. Hold on, we're gonna order a coffee together. Hey, how are you? May I please have a medium iced coffee with mocha and less ice, please? No cream, no sugar. Yes. May I please have a medium iced coffee with mocha and less ice? No cream, no sugar, just the mocha and the less ice, please. Okay. And that's it. Thank you. This Dunkin' Donuts is a little more expensive than all the other ones. And they always ask for a tip. Not that I want to not give people a tip, but why am I going to tip you for something that I haven't even tasted yet? They shove one of those card readers in your face, and you know, sometimes they get the tip from me, sometimes they don't. But anyways, yeah, so the wife surprised me with the car. We went and looked at it, and you know, ultimately we brought it home. And it's coming up on just about the 2-year mark, and man, I can't tell you how happy this car makes me, how much joy this car brings, how much we've driven the car. I mean, it has been an amazing vehicle, you know. I mean, this is just, it's called for nothing. You know, I've done general maintenance on it, oil and, you know, tire rotation and air filters and just normal stuff for a 30-year car. This drives it presents, and by that I mean it looks better and it drives better than most new vehicles, even some newer vehicles that we own. This one has been non-problematic at all. It delivers every time I need it to deliver, and yeah, so it's one of those things where I don't want to get rid of it, but you know, I don't have a shop of my own per se. I have a shop with a buddy of mine, but at the end of the day, it's still his shop on his property, and I can't rely on him to hold vehicles for me.
Hello, you just got the medium ice mocha last ice black?
That's me.
It's going to be $4.25.
Thank you.
It's going to ask on the screen if you'd like to tip or not. There is a no tip button, and you can go ahead and pull the card through the bottom.
Thank you.
Did you want your receipt?
No thanks, brother.
Yes, sir. There you are.
I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
Good one.
Thank you. No tip. You're damn right I'm hitting the no tip button. I don't even know what this coffee tastes like. So anyways, yeah, so we're just rolling. I wanted to just enjoy it, and you know, like I said, we've taken this car to Tampa, we've taken this car up towards Jacksonville. I've driven this car, quite frankly, more than my daily driver. My wife enjoys the car. It's super nostalgic for me. Every single time I get in the car, I have a smile. I have a smile now. It's sad, it's bittersweet, but you know, I am excited because, you know, not only did this provide so many great memories and just like cool conversations, you know, one of the things too with this car is, you know, and I'll put some pictures of the car for those who aren't familiar with this particular model vehicle, but you know, it's an older General Motors car from the 90s. So some of those things that we don't get anymore, like a hood emblem, right? The white wall tires, you know, you don't really see cars like this anymore. It's metal. You know, if you get your finger stuck in this door, it's gonna cut it close. So anywhere I go, I draw a ton of attention in this vehicle, and it's outrageous how that works. A lot of people don't believe me when I tell them that, you know, I can't go to a gas station or a stoplight without getting a thumbs up. And I know I haven't put much of my pink truck on the channel, but if you follow me on social media or if you know me in real life, I have a rather loud custom vehicle, and I guarantee you this one draws way more attention than that any day of the week. So, you know, it's just a really cool car. Obviously somebody loved it before me. I loved it, and you know, it's gonna go to a place where it's gonna serve as a family vehicle, and I'm okay with that. You know, you can't save them all. They know that I've done a great job in preserving this vehicle, and if they keep up with it, that's great too. But if not, at the end of the day, it's a turnkey vehicle that will get them and their family to point A to point B for a good amount of time to come. And you know, for that, I'm happy enough and confident enough in the vehicle to afford to do that. So yeah, so today I have to go recreate a picture that I took when I was 17 with my original Buick, and I've been putting it off for such a long time. But now it's coming down to the nitty gritty. I think at the end of today, I'm gonna take my Low Bros Car Club plaque out of the back window and remove all the stickers, take all of my little knickknacks out here. This one says "Won't Stop Cruising." This is an air freshener. I got lowrider stuff all around here, and just, you know, make it back to a bone stock cruiser for, you know, the next family to enjoy. Oh, before I forget, cheers. I've always called this the cold coffee cruiser. In fact, when I first got it, shout out my buddy Pinstripe and Mikey. He's a talented human and an even better friend for many years, but he does pinstriping, and I was gonna have him pinstripe an iced coffee on the trunk lid with 3 C's in it instead of a Dunkin' logo. I was gonna put 3 C's, so you know, that way we knew it as a cold coffee cruiser. So yeah, this has just been exactly what it sounds like. This has just been a fun driver. You know, I'm a little older now, so this is my version of my classic car, and I've really carried it as such. You know, a lot of people wanted me to modify the car, put it on the air suspension, and trust me, I thought about it. I have the things to do it, but I really just enjoy the drivability and the simplicity of the vehicle. The fact that it's turnkey, you can get in and get right to it. You don't have to wait for your air tank to fill up or something dumb that comes with, you know, the fun stuff of modifying vehicles. This one's really just get in and go. And and that's what I really want out of it. It's got a nice radio in it that came with the car, Bluetooth, so that way you can keep your hands off your phone. You know, all the new features of the newer modern days. But yeah, so but I, you know, like I said, I don't really have a whole lot to talk about. We can talk about a few things that'll timestamp this video, but really just wanted to pay homage to how cool of a vehicle this is, how much fun we've had with it, how thankful I am to have received this as a gift. It's very thoughtful. It's not like my wife bought me a pair of shoes. Not everybody can tell their friends that their wife bought them a car, let alone their first car again, basically, right? So it was really cool in that regard to have the vehicle and create new memories in it with my wife and my friends, because as a car guy, you know, having the same car and building those memories when I was younger, and quite frankly, the apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. Everything I did with my 92 Buick Century, I did with this one. The only thing I didn't do with this one was pack a bunch of sweaty friends in there from the skate park. You know, back in the day it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then me 5. It was a little different too back in the day because we used to be able to, hey man, you got $1, you got $1, you got $1, you got $1, I got 5, $10. We was riding for the whole entire weekend back then. And $10 will get you pretty far in this tank because it's a small tank. It's only a 12, 13 gallon tank. But realistically, you know, $10 at a gas station, it doesn't get you much. So in that regard, it's a little different. Also, I used to have a bike rack that used to hang off the trunk and would have like 4 heavy BMX bikes on it. Now, we're not doing that. The trunk is big enough for my bike and my bike only, so we've taken this to many of skate park sessions and just hangouts around town with the bike guys, and you know, the bike fits beautifully inside the trunk. So we have definitely taken a more mature route, respecting the age and the quality of the vehicle as it sits. So but you know, again, very similar to what it was used for previously when I had my first one. It was the homie hauler, and it brought us to where we needed to go for the fun. And this one did the same thing. We took this last year for my birthday. My wife, shout out to my wife, it's a reoccurring event here, but got us set up with an Airbnb in Tampa, Florida, and we went to the Lowrider Super Show. And the year prior, I went with my buddy and we entered our vehicles, and it was really cool, like bucket list moment where we entered a vehicle and we actually both took home awards for our vehicles at a Lowrider show. And that was really cool to have mini trucks in place first in our categories at a truck show or Lowrider show. But I wanted to go last year as a spectator, and again, you know, if you're into the lowrider world, you know that this is a front wheel drive car. It's not a big body car. It's a mid-size car, you know, but in my head, this was my Lolo, this was my cruiser, and it was clean enough. And so we took it down there, and yeah, that's exactly what we did. And we met up with all the lowrider guys. We went to the picnic. We took it and parked it outside the show. And believe you me, it drew some attention at a show that has millions of dollars worth of cars inside. So it, again, just you know, another example of how we've enjoyed it. Drove it around all weekend, went to different meetups all through Tampa, went down, got some food in different spots in Tampa. I mean, it's a driver, and you know, we got tons of pictures and tons of memories with that, and I was super hyped to check that off the bucket list. And yeah, it's just been a really fun thing to, it's been a fun tool. And you know, I get it, it's a material item, but as a car guy, this really kind of brought me back to a place and time that I missed, and that was my youth. My youth was a little scattered. I was forced to grow up a little faster than everybody else, I think. So the one thing that I remember, you know, vastly remember was, you know, driving in my Buick and having that time with my friends at the skate park or on the way to the skate park, you know, when I wasn't at work or dealing with, you know, real life situations with my mom's being sick and, you know, stuff like that. So a lot of memories were created. So every time I get in this car, even now, it's a nostalgic thing for me. It's more than just driving. even if I just am driving the car, I always hear a song or think about something that just takes me back to a certain place. Another cool thing is, I don't know if I have them in here, if I can reach them. They're behind the seat and I don't want to get crazy on the road here, but another cool thing is I still have my CD case from my first Buick Century, and when I got this car, I put that CD case in here, and I put in some of those CDs because the person I got this from did replace the head unit in here, so they took the factory radio out, which I kind of wish they didn't, but they did. And even though it's a modernized piece with Bluetooth, they did get a CD player. And I say that because in 2025, believe it or not, CD players are barely even offered in new vehicles anymore, and really not attainable at the store when you go to buy a new head unit. It's almost like they're called media players, where it's just Bluetooth or aux or USB or now even USB-C cables. So another example of how I'm getting old. But anyways, it has a CD player, and man, just playing some of those CDs from that era, you know, from when I was younger, you know, anything from Project Pat, more specifically Gucci Mane. Probably wouldn't know it on the surface looking in, but one of the biggest, if not the biggest Gucci Mane fan that I know, me. But other shit like Thrice, you know, we rode BMX bikes, we listened to all sorts of screamo and rock and punk and the grittiest of rap, hip hop. I'm a music head. And so that's something too that I've just really enjoyed, driving around in the Buick and getting to share again some of those memories and moments with like my wife now, or my friends that are in it now, just kind of being like, yeah, dude, when the song came out, man. So yeah, it's been a really rad experience. It would be almost 2 years, coming up in June. The end of June going into July, more specifically, would have been a whole 2 years that I've had it. But it's just been an amazing vehicle. And I think too, what's funny is here in the state of Florida and most other states, wherever you're located, but in the state of Florida, at 30 years, you get what's called the antique tag or the blue tag, and your car gets classified as an antique after 30 years. And so many moons ago, there used to be a 25-year phase and then a 30-year phase, but they phased out the 25 mark, so it's only 30. My pink mini truck S10 is a 1998, so unfortunately I have 3 years to go, and I've had that car. I got rid of my first Buick for that truck, and that was over 20 years ago, so it just gives you an idea of how long I've had that thing. But I've always said I'm going to get a blue tag on that truck, and since they moved it back to 30 years, unfortunately I have 3 more years to go, so God willing, we'll both make it to the blue tag, and I can see a blue tag on the pink truck. But I've always wanted one. All my friends have had older cars and had, you know, even just like a 1990, you know, at this point would get you a blue tag. This was going to be it. In fact, I got the registration in the mail, because my birthday's in April. And like I said, we're at the tail end of February. So I got the registration packet in the mail just recently to actually, you know, re-register all the tags. And this would have been the year that I got a blue tag, and a blue tag would have been on this one. And it's not just getting a blue tag, it's like your registration's cheaper, your insurance is cheaper, and it's a rite of passage. It just shows that, you know, you get that OG, like I get that OG moniker from my friends anyways, especially in the BMX world. They're always, all the young kids are like, what's up, OG? It stings a little bit, but I'm happy to be able to make it to that part of my life. But yeah, it would have been cool to get that blue tag on the Buick, but you know, it didn't work out that way, so we'll see. But yeah, I mean, again, I really just wanted to get on here and just do this. This is more like just, again, paying homage to a vehicle that has just brought so much joy into my life in the last 2 years. A gift that was just unreal. The thought that, you know, we're not talking about a Bentley. It's not like my wife bought me a $100,000 car, but if you know me and my wife, you know that we definitely have come from humble beginnings, as many do in a relationship, but very humble beginnings. I mean, hell, she met me when I was down on my luck. I was living in my car after a while, and I got out of my car and ended up living with her for a little bit. So like, she met me when I was at my lowest. So, just knowing where we came from, and the idea that she can go chuck a couple of bucks at a car and it doesn't affect anybody's underlying dollars, which is crazy. It's crazy to think that. That alone was a milestone in the relationship. And yeah, I just think it was cool. It's appreciative. She knows I don't want to get rid of it. She's even said like, hey, do you really have to get rid of it? Like, can you find a place? And in all fairness too, like, I have the new truck already. I still have this. I have my pink truck, and we have 2 other vehicles. I have a total of 5 vehicles as I'm recording this. And I'm in a situation, thank God, where it doesn't affect anything. I can probably bring in another 2 more if I needed to. But that's not the point. The point is I've had some friends even offer like, hey, you could keep the Silverado at my shop or in my property. It's up to you to maintain it, but that way you don't have to necessarily get rid of the Buick. The reason I'm getting rid of the Buick is just because I don't need 5 cars in my house. And then the other side of that is, I don't really want my truck to be sitting in somebody's house. If you know me, I'm very meticulous about cleanliness. I like my stuff to be clean. So if, depending on where it would sit, it's going to get tree leaves and sap and bird crap and dirt. People are cutting their grass, rightfully so. It's slinging shit all over the car. I don't want to do that. Also, it's just, I shouldn't have to leave something at somebody's house. I feel like at my big age, I shouldn't have I shouldn't have to worry about it. I mean, it's a great offer, and I'm so thankful that I even have friends that would even consider offering that to me. But I think where I'm at in my life is, if you can't make it work, type of thing, then you don't necessarily need it. And I can make it work, and so the truck can sit at my house. And it's okay to thin out the herd a little bit. We had fun with this one. Now we'll get some miles in the new truck, and that truck will hopefully get me up and down the road a few times. And if we can accomplish that, then that paid itself off, and we'll see where we go from that. The cool thing is about the truck is, even though it's got high mileage, should anything ever happen with that drivetrain, it's an LS motor. If you're a car guy, we could just rebuild it. It's got a 4.8 liter LS. It's a smaller V8 of all the LS motors, but the one I wanted, ironically. And transmissions, I rebuilt a few of them in my S10 pink truck already, so I'm not scared of that. What really drew me to the vehicle that I purchased was just the cleanliness of the interior and the exterior. So again, I'm not afraid of the high miles. If something goes south on the drivetrain, we just rebuild it. But the shell and where I'm sitting with my wife, both outside and inside, present very clean. The interior specifically is wildly clean for a 20-year-old, 500,000-mile truck. So I'm excited for that new chapter, and we'll probably do a video, or we can even do a podcast in that one. Do a podcast in a 500,000-mile vehicle with some more coffee, and maybe put a couple of friends in there and just talk crap a little bit. But yeah, I just really wanted to document this a little bit, and that's it. I mean, after I film this, really, I'm gonna go home, take that plaque out of the back window, take a couple of the Lowbro stickers off the windows. I mean, she's always clean. This thing is cleaned up, tire shined, smelling good, vacuumed and wiped down all the time because it's in the garage. So really, it's take it home, take all the stuff out that belongs to me, take the tag off the back. I'm going to take the insurance off of it today, and if all goes well, the new Silverado will be road legal by the end of today, and sadly we'll see this one go down the road tomorrow morning. Yeah, a little bummed out about it, but what are you gonna do? So again, anybody who watched this, first of all, thanks for spending 30 minutes with me, just rambling a little bit. This is raw, uncut. I don't think I'm going to clip anything out of it. All my stuff that I've always done is like this. But if you'd be more interested in something like this, feel free to let me know down below. I was really trying to do some stuff with the YouTube channel in 2024, and I did, but then I didn't. Life started lifing a little bit, but I really would like to focus on creating some stuff for me, and then obviously my followers on here. If you're interested, I'd love to hear from you. I have a ton of different things that I like to do, and I tossed up the idea of doing cooking, and you know, one of these days I'm going to put a BMX video up here. That's part of the life that's been lifing. I've been healing a torn Achilles tendon since basically July of 2024, and so that's really stifled a lot of my activities when it comes to like basketball and riding BMX bikes, but we're getting back to it, and so I'm excited for that. But yeah, but I have always talked about doing a podcast in a visual form. Those of you guys that followed me on the other platforms, they may recognize, you might recognize the name Coffee and Brats. That was my cat podcast that was available on all their platforms. It was an audio podcast, and you know, it got taken down at the end of 2023, and I haven't really done much with it. So yeah, I have a computer, and I've got some software. I've been blessed to have a computer to which I use, and I do have some videos that I just need to go ahead and fire off that are sitting on that computer. But yeah, I think I really want to get into some stuff. I try not to make it an automotive channel, but it's hard because I'm really engulfed in the automotive world, and just like, not just car show stuff, but like detailing and repair work and whatever. So I'll start trying to document a little bit more, even just for myself. And if you guys and gals like what you see, feel free to follow along. But yeah, I guess thank you for joining me on the one and only special edition podcast of the century. I'm Diener, and yeah, cheers to new beginnings. Thank you to this sweet, cool car that, you know, most people would deem a grandpa car, but I deem my happy place, or one of them at least. It's been a rad run. It's on its way to its new beginnings, and so am I. So cheers to everybody that just finished watching this with me. Drop a thumbs up. Even if you don't like it, drop a thumbs up. That would still be really cool of you. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one, and who knows what I'll be driving then. Peace.